Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Thanks for letting me know that you couldn't hear the video. I went ahead and I changed one thing to see if I could to try to see if you could possibly hear it a little bit better. Let me know if you still can't hear it, and I will try to change one more thing. But you should be able to hear it now. Make sure you're using your headphones. You'll definitely be able to hear it if you use your headphones. I tried it again this morning and didn't have problems when I used headphones. So it should be fixed now, and you should be able to hear, and we'll see you in class. Bye. Walking down the aisles with Mom at the grocery store, watching her look at boxes and boxes of different types of mac and cheese. It looks like the same stuff. Why doesn't she just grab one? Well, the question comes down to, what's the best value? Your mom's going to the grocery store. She's not looking just to go ahead and pick just general items off the shelves, but she's looking to see what's the best value, what's the biggest bang for the buck. All right, so we've tested Bounty and Sparkle for their ability to absorb water, as well as possibly another quality that you decided upon. It could have been strength, ability to go ahead and pick up certain materials. It could have been ability to absorb other liquids or semi-liquids. Anyway, you started going ahead and looking at its qualities. But the one thing that we are missing is talking about its cost per paper towel. Then being able to go ahead and use that information to help us understand and determine the cost per absorption and the cost per strength, so that we can see which one is actually the best value. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is how can you go ahead and determine the cost per unit price. So we're going to start off with this as an example. Here we have Lucky Charms cereal, and you can find Lucky Charms is at Walmart, and you can also find it at Target. Now you'll see that we actually have Walmart price is $2.84, and the Target price is $3.29. Which one do you think is the best value? Pause for a second and see if you can figure it out. If you said Target, the cereal found at Target, you were actually right. But how did you figure that out? One of the things that we need to start talking about is what's called the unit price. Right here is an example of what you can find for a unit price. What a unit price means is just talking about the amount of money per ounce, or amount of money per item. And so that's extremely important for us to understand, because oftentimes when we're trying to make some comparisons, not all the variables may be the same. And so we really need to make sure that we can get it down to the point of which we can make a comparison. So this was an example of Jiffy Crunch peanut butter, and it costs $6.44 for the whole jar. But the problem is, when we try to go ahead and compare it to something else, the jars might not be the same size. So what you do is you take the price, and then you find how much of the item is in the jar. In this case, it's 40 ounces. And you do a little bit of a math problem. You take the price of the bottle divided by the amount of ounces in it, and it gets you the unit price per ounce. So we can go ahead and say that this costs 16 cents per ounce of peanut butter. And then we were able to go ahead and compare it to other brands. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Lucky Charms example again. Here we have the Lucky Charms example. Here's the cost found at Walmart. Here's the cost at Target. If you just look at the cost, you think Walmart's the better brand. But you got to take a look at how much is in each box. There's a lot more in the Target box versus the Walmart box. So again, you have to set up your math problem. Now, most of the time, the grocery stores set it up for you, and they actually tell you, the cost. So if you were to do this on your own, you'd take $2.84 divided by 11.5 ounces, and it comes out to 24.6 ounces. Whereas the Target brand, how they went ahead and came up with their number is the same thing. Cost of the box divided by the number of ounces in the box, and they came up to 20.5 cents per ounce. So when you go ahead and make the comparison, the Target brand is much better, or the Target box found, the Lucky Charms found at the Target store, is a much better deal because it's 20.5 cents per ounce. That's what we need to start working on. If we're trying to figure out which paper towel is the best buy, we need to go ahead and start doing some calculations. Alright, let's think about this then. If we're trying to compare Sparkle and Bounty, we really need to go ahead and take a look at the number of rolls in the package. And if you notice, they didn't have the same number of rolls. Bounty had 12 rolls in the package that I bought, and Sparkle had only 8. So, I want you to pause for a second. What are we going to need to be able to do to figure out the cost per roll? If you said take the cost of the package of 12 rolls for Bounty and divide it by the number of rolls in the package, which was 12, you would get the cost for one roll. Now, what would you do to go ahead and figure out the cost of one roll with Sparkle? Pause for a second, see if you can figure it out. If you said take the cost of the package of 8 rolls of Sparkle divided by the number of rolls in that package, which was 8, you would get the cost for one roll of Sparkle as well. So hopefully you were able to figure that out. But you probably also noticed that not all paper towel rolls have the same number of paper towels. So what we would need to do there is, guess what? Another little bit of math. Now, how could you figure that out? Pause for a second and see if you could figure out how would you figure or determine or calculate the cost per paper towel. If you said you would take the cost of the roll and divide that by the number of paper towels in the roll, you would have had the answer, cost for one paper towel. So we would need to do the same thing for the Bounty and the Sparkle. There then we would have the cost per paper towel. Now obviously some of you guys are starting to figure out there's lots of math to be able to involve to be able to calculate the value. But that's one thing that is essential in order for us to be able to figure out which paper towel is the best value when comparing the cost with the absorption of water and with the strength. So what I need you guys to do is to make sure that you have these formulas written down so that we're ready to go for class on Friday. If you happen to have any questions, make sure you feel free to ask, and we'll get started on Friday. See you later.